Hi everyone. Today I want to talk to you about our guts. I don't know about you, but I have had some major gut issues over my life that I won't share the TMI details about, but I have faced a whole lot of different things, including what doctors think was irritable bowel syndrome or IBS, leaky gut, and just some major running to the bathroom issues that I'm not going to share too much about. But I want to share with you how you can use essential oils to really start to help with your gut issues and how I use them almost daily for this, because I'm still working to make my gut the way it needs to be so that I can get the best benefit out of my food and also be able to not have any symptoms. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Sarah Ernie. I'm a nurse practitioner on the Central Coast of California, and I work a lot with women with hormonal issues, thyroid issues, autoimmune disease issues, which are all really common in the gut area. The gut often drives us into an autoimmune disease, and if we have one, say Hashimoto's, multiple sclerosis, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, amongst several others, we almost always have some gut problems, and fixing the gut or supporting the gut is one of the biggest things we can do to reduce our symptoms, even of the autoimmune disease. Now, I posted a graphic not too long ago about leaky gut and the symptoms. And what I love about the graphic is that it points out that gut symptoms are not always in the gut, meaning we can have brain fog, we can have fatigue, we can have bad breath, we can have sinus respiratory issues, we can have pain all over our body that is driven by the gut. And so how can we support our gut using natural methods to really work towards a health of that gut flora and the gut muscles and movement of food through? And in that, I start to look at essential oils. Now, that being said, before I get into the essential oils, I want to say very quickly that if you don't change the things that need to be changed, so if you continue to eat the foods that your body doesn't like, in my case, it's gluten, dairy, sugar, beans, and some others, then you're not going to feel any, or I shouldn't say, I won't say any, but you're not going to feel much relief in your symptoms. If you're not moving, my mother used to say, you got to get up and moving to get everything moving through your body. And without movement, you don't have good bowel movements. And yes, I did go there with a poop question or statement, but it is what it is. We have to talk about it. And if we don't find a way to cope or reduce our stress, have you ever heard of that you have a gut-wrenching problem, or you have butterflies in your stomach? All of this is a stress, a way that we know intuitively that our gut suffers when we're under stress. And there are a lot of studies that I am not going to talk about in this little video that show that stress really has a major impact on our gut. So if we don't work towards those things and we just do the essential oils, we're really not going to get the full benefit and not going to allow our bodies to heal themselves the way they can if we give them all of the right tools instead of just one or two. Now, let's talk about different oils that I use or have used for my gut symptoms. The first one I use is our blend called Digestin, and it comes in a bottle like this, but I actually put it in a roller bottle. And I use this one daily, a couple of times a day, and I just do a swipe back and forth on my belly. The oils that are in here, the ginger, the fennel, the peppermint, are all oils that have been shown to help improve when you have gut symptoms. So when you get nauseated, or when you start to have really bad pain or gas and bloating, the oil put on the stomach will help very quickly to reduce those symptoms. But I also use it as a preventive because all of those oils have been shown to help with gut function. I want my gut functioning all the time, not just once in a while, right? So I use it that way. But if you want to look at single oils that are really, really powerful and really wonderful for improving your gut, and I should stop and just say, to me, the gut is from where food goes in to where it comes out, okay, and everything in between. The main two pieces we look at, though, are the stomach and the small intestines because of their job in breaking down food and making nutrients available to the body. And that's where a lot of the problems occur. So when I'm looking at single oils, the first one I look at is cardamom. Cardamom is an oil that is very close to the ginger family. It is a very soothing oil the way ginger is. It helps with just calming down the gut when it's upset, but it does some amazing things in that prevention and support of the gut. And one of the first things it does is it protects the stomach wall. It actually can act as a barrier so you don't get lesions in your stomach, and it also helps with that wall and how the stomach acid functions, because our gastric acid is extremely important in being able to digest food, especially protein. And so the cardamom can help with that and help boost the activity there in the stomach. It also helps with what we call smooth muscle contraction in the small intestine. So basically what it's doing is helping those contractions, is what we call peristalsis, and it helps move food through the gut so that you can actually get the nutrients out of it, but also get it out of your system in the way it should go. And then the last thing cardamom does is it works on inflammation and spasms. And often we don't think about our body spasming in the gut area, but it can. So when you feel like those knots are being tied or something's twisting in there, that is often a little spasm in the muscle. And so the cardamom will actually help to calm that down. The next big one that we talk about is peppermint. And there have been a lot of studies done on peppermint in the gut. There is, I remember when I used to have problems when I was younger, when I was eating McDonald's probably 6 or 8 times a week, if that, and maybe more than that. And I was living on Imodium. But the one thing that I could count on was my gum. My peppermint gum would actually cool it down a little bit. And that was not a natural peppermint by any stretch of the word. Nothing like the quality of oil that doTERRA has for peppermint. But it did calm it down, because peppermint is a very cooling oil. And what it will do in the gut is to help cool and reduce that inflammation. And there have been many studies that have shown that peppermint works on the symptoms of IBS, especially if you take it in a capsule about 15 to 30 minutes before each meal. It's a preventive. It's already working to help the gut function before the food ever hits it. So that is another oil that we can use. The other thing that peppermint does is that it helps to get rid of a pathogen that is called E. coli. Now, E. coli we have in our body, and we need a little bit of it, but when it gets to be too much, it can take over the gut and other places. And so peppermint actually helps your body get rid of that. Infections in the gut are very common and can lead to the leaky gut. So another one called Candida is a yeast overgrowth, where if we eat too many grains and too much sugar, because yeast loves sugar and it feeds on it and it grows, then you need to get rid of that, because that will start with the brain fog and the fatigue and headaches and pain. And one of the best oils, so for our next gut oil, is clove. Clove has actually been shown to help with the removal of candida it's the overgrowth of candida. And 2 more oils that I use a lot when we're talking about anything that would require the use of an antibiotic is Melaleuca and oregano. And Melaleuca and oregano can actually help work on the bacteria that can get in your gut that can cause what we call SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So an overgrowth of the bad bacteria in your gut. You need to have, there's good bacteria you have to have. And there's even some bacteria you have to have, you just don't want it too much. And Melaleuca and oregano have been shown to have a lot of antibacterial properties. So without taking an antibiotic that's going to damage the gut, the Melaleuca and oregano are much more gentle to do. Then the last oil I want to talk to you about, and actually it's a pair of oils, although I will tell you I use thyme more than I have used rose, because we just got rose in, so now I'm starting to learn to play with it. But thyme and rose have a couple of chemical components to them called thymol and geraniol, which think of flower. Geraniol always reminds me of the word geranium, but it's actually in roses and thyme more. And what those two do is actually look to suppress pathogens that are antibacterial or antibiotic, one more time, are resistant to antibiotics. Think MRSA. But there are also things that pathogens that end up in the gut that thyme and rose will help as well. And so, like I said, I have much more experience using thyme, but the rose is starting to be in research. What I'm pulling is amazing. It's actually a very powerful oil. Where we think of it being as a gentle rose, it just is an amazing powerhouse of oils. So like I said, when I'm looking at those, ginger is my last one. And I use it mainly in the digestion. I don't typically put it into capsules, but you can. And that is another one that, again, is just a soothing oil that calms everything down. Now, very quickly, and I know we've been on here 11 minutes, so I'm trying to wrap this up. I want to tell you how to use these oils. You can do them all three ways, and you can use them, and be very careful though, when you're trying to use internal, I'm looking for one I can use internal, you really want to look for a supplement fact label on the bottle to know whether it is safe for internal use. So there are going to be oils that are not. But the oils that I'm talking about putting into the capsules are safe. And basically what you want to do is take the Entra-coated capsules, the clear veggie caps, which I meant to bring over here and I didn't. And you want to put your oils into the capsules, and then you want, because you're having this stomach and these gut issues, you really want to dilute it a little bit more. And you can put a little bit of coconut oil in there. And I'm talking about the liquid, the fractionated coconut oil. Close the cap and take it internally. What I will do is give you some recipes, if you will, for capsules. But I also, like I said, I do a lot of things topically, and I put them in roller bottles. And so I have one that is more for my stomach upset, which is the digestion, and I add a little bit of extra cardamom and peppermint to that one. And then I have one that's more okay, let's get rid of the nasty little varmints, the bugs that are in there. And that has the clove, it has cardamom, it has thyme, and it has melaleuca and oregano in it. And I use that typically on the bottom of my feet more than I do on my belly. When putting oils on the bottom of your feet, it tends to get into every cell of your body within about 15-20 minutes. And I wanted to take out pathogens everywhere. So I want it to go as quickly as it possibly can. Now, I want to bring up real quickly one thing about topical, and that is if you use an oil, and you've got our oils and they're highly volatile, have highly volatile chemical components, I'll get it spit out, and you put it on your skin, it's wonderful because you can smell it and it will actually have a little bit of relief depending on what you're doing. But a lot of that oil is all the chemical components are going to evaporate off. When you put it in a roller bottle or put it in some coconut oil to rub on like a salve, the solid coconut oil, when you're using a carrier oil, it will actually hold in the oils and their chemical components so they can get down all the way into the cells and into the deep tissue. And then aromatic, do not forget the use of putting it in a diffuser, because a lot of times that may be the only way at that moment that you can get it in. And so either take your peppermint and do a drop in your hand, rub it together, and breathe in, which will also calm the stomach down, or put it in your diffuser. And so you can do that and really start to help your gut function better and support that piece of you that is like your second brain, because what affects your gut also affects your brain. So cardamom, thyme and rose, melaleuca and oregano, peppermint, and ginger. And then of course the digestion blend if you want to just have some of that in combination. That's all for today. See you soon.